Hey guys, I'm the Philosopher, and this is a very special episode of FGC Philosophy. I've hit 500 subscribers, and while that's very small in the grand scheme of things compared to other YouTubers, I try really hard not to compare myself. So first, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's ever watched a video, shared a video, subscribed to my channel. I greatly appreciate you guys. And I wanted to have not just a thank you video, I wanted to actually talk about something, and I feel there's a really good topic that I could talk about that someone sent me a message of. Someone recently texted me a question saying, what's the number one thing in life that I've learned? I still have not responded to this message yet, and I've been trying to really think about it because it's a really good question. I don't really have too much guidance to go on, so I'm indecisive, and I just really wanted to think about this before I just said a one-off answer and just left it at that. And also, I didn't want to just type out a short answer. I really wanted to elaborate on it, and it's very hard for me to do that on the phone. I'm not one of the texty type people. I prefer to either talk or type on a keyboard. So I figured I would actually just share this with anyone who watches this video. If I had to choose just one thing, which I think is very hard to do, for me, my answer would be, if there's something you don't like about your life, or there's something that you don't like about your habits or your personality, whatever it is, as long as it's for you, you have the ability to change that. If you're not confident enough, you can change that. If you're not in shape enough, you can change that. If you don't like the way you communicate with other people, or you can't handle your emotions, that's something that can change. A lot of people have this mindset of, oh, that's just the way I am, and leave it at that and accept themselves for who they are. And I've seen people who I went to high school with who are now in their 30s and 40s and haven't matured, in my opinion. And that's fine. But there's a lot of people who just fully believe that they are who they are and they can't change. But as someone who's changed a lot of different parts of myself, I have to say that's completely false. I used to be overweight, and I decided to change that. I not just overweight, but just unhealthy living habits that I had, eating habits, eating mentalities, exercise mentalities, just small things within the realm of health that changed. I used to believe that ADD was an inevitability and I had to take pills to fix that. I got into meditation and, again, exercise, and that totally changed how I was able to control my thought process and not get distracted too much. I used to be way less confident. A couple of years ago, I never would have had the courage to start a YouTube channel, to want to be a speaker, to want to be a coach. I never could have done any of those things, but lo and behold, confidence is a skill that you work on over time. The more that you do it, the more you acclimate to it, the better you get, the more confident that you can get. The same thing with speaking and so many other things that I personally consider skills. A lot of things that people consider mentality quirks or just habits or whatever, I consider to be skills. Confidence is a skill. Fitness is a skill. Your eating habits is a skill. Your willpower, your ability to say no to things that aren't going to help you move forward in the direction that you personally want to go in, those are all skills. And something that I want to at least mention that could be potentially dangerous is the reasons that you're choosing to change. That's the one thing that I would really warn people to be careful of. Because if you're changing for somebody or something else that's not for your personal goal, you're not really being you. The reason I changed myself is because I didn't feel like I was being the person that I personally wanted to be. I tried to really sculpt myself in the direction that I wanted, the life that I wanted, the lifestyle that I wanted to live, the person that I wanted to be, not because I wanted to impress anybody or because I wanted to get with a specific girl or anything like that. I just worked on myself because I wanted goals and I was not the person to achieve that goal yet. So you really have to be careful with the reasons that you're trying to change yourself. If you're doing it for somebody else, personally, I don't think that's a healthy thing to do. I think the more you work on yourself, the more you try to just appreciate yourself, then the more you're going to be happy. And that's really hard to do, but it's worth it. It's worth the effort. So to get back to the main point, the person that you were a year ago shouldn't be the person that you are now, and the person that you are now should not be the person that you will be in a year. For me, life is about growth. It's about continuing to improve. That's something that I realized around 24, 25 when I first started getting into fitness. When I realized that there's aspects of myself that I can change if I don't like them, or improve if you want to look at it that way. That definitely has to be the number one thing that I've learned in life. I have changed so much. I've grown out of my depression. For some of you who don't know, I used to be very depressed. I used to have very dark suicidal thoughts that I've grown out of. There's still challenges that I have today, but there's a practice that I have in place and just mindsets that help me get out of that mindset a lot faster now, rather than going months and years on end just being depressed and apathetic and just getting nothing done, being very lethargic. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think that's a very good question, and I actually want to pass that question on to you. What is the number one thing that you have learned in life? I'd love to know down below. I definitely think that there's a lot of different things for different people. I've heard different answers already, but I want to know what you guys think. I think this is a great conversation that's worth having, not just a one-on-one, but just with the rest of the people. So comments down below. Again, I want to thank you guys so much. I didn't think that I would get this far in my YouTube career, if you want to call it that. My next goal is definitely 1,000. I want to start that monetization again. I know I got cut off, but I don't care. That's not going to stop me from trying. I'm going to get there and then keep going forward. So if you're new to this channel and you do like fighting games, traditionally is what I talk about, and like personal development and philosophy. Obviously I'm the philosopher, so I have to talk about that kind of stuff. Thank you guys. I appreciate the question, so thank you so much for the person that handed that question to me. I think that was a very great question, and I couldn't do it via text. I'm sorry, that's too broad of a question for me to just type it out. I wanted to actually give you an honest answer, and this is the best way that I could answer that question. So hopefully this isn't too long for you and not too late for you. So thank you guys so much, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.